can't do anything about it. Hey guys, sorry about the sound issues. The boys struggle to hear me through Skype. We've got something wrong. Hopefully it's working now. I'm Lawrence Presman. You're watching Puck Time, and as Derek Scott just said, let's roll, and that's what we're going to do. Let's just start right off the bat. Carmine, can you hear me okay?
No, we can't hear you, but we're not going to stop the show. Hopefully what this does is it kind of reduces you talking, and we hear more of Andrew and the rest of the boys. So just throw it to us for each and every game, and we'll plug through it. For the people on watching, you guys can hear them perfectly fine, but there's a connection between the four of us once we go live where we can hardly hear Prez. That's usually a blessing, but it's a problem.
Oh, aren't you funny? Well, the good thing is I'm not hosting tomorrow. It's just you. It's the three of you plus Koken. Everybody, new face today. If you haven't joined us, if you didn't join us last year, this is Buster Sports. Don Buster lived in Mexico during the winter, now back in St. Catharines. Our first ever all-Canadian show. Buster, how the hell are you, my friend?
Well, Prez, I'm doing quite well. But as you know, I'm in 14 days of quarantine because once you fly from another country to Canada, that's what you have to do. But things are good, brother. Everything's fine. And hey, my Canadiens won one game, so that's better than I thought. So it's all good.
Awesome stuff. And I'm told by Andrew McGinnis my sound is back and working for you, gentlemen.
No.
It was for a second.
Well, that's okay. You can make it out. Andrew, big winner a couple of days ago on your 5% play, taking your run to 10-1 in your last 11 5% plays. And you've got one going tonight. Guys, play of the day, Andrew McGinnis over at WagerTalk.com. He has a 5% hockey play. Do not miss it. And we're going to get talking Islanders in 2 seconds. But, Andrew, what's up with your play?
Yeah, it's one of those ones for me where I don't, release too many 5% plays, but some of these spots, these totals, I don't want to think twice about it. It was a spot that I released last night, overnight to my clients so they can get the best odds, best number. And like I said, 10-1, over 44% return on investment for clients. Very minimum with these NHL 5% plays. So I hope people can hop on and grab them. If you don't want to grab the 5% play today, go ahead and grab the 7-day pass using coupon code WEEK69. It's right now 40% for the 5% play. Sorry, $40 for the 5% play. And you can get a whole week of my action for just $69.
There you go. Andrew McGinnis, 5% play going today in hockey. Let's get straight to it, boys. Jared Schrader bet the over in the New York Islanders Florida game. Let's start right there. I'm going to just tell you guys flat out. I think the Islanders sweep today, and I think this game stays under the total. I think pretty much any game the Islanders win in the playoffs is going to stay under the total. This team is really hard to score against. Carm, I like the Islanders. I like the under. Where are you going? Oh, Carm can't hear me.
Okay. No, I can hear you now. The video, we're having some video issues, unfortunately, to go along with the sound issues. But anyways, as far as the Islander game, they did what I expected them to do yesterday and win. We told you, we talked about it, the Barry Trotz thing where, towards the just before the pandemic, they couldn't stop a puck. This team was playing horrible defensively, and now we're seeing them play like they played in the playoffs last season. I'm feeling really good about my 40-1 on the Islanders. They have kept the Panthers. The one thing about the Panthers throughout the season was their quick succession goals. they'd score a goal, come back, and literally within a couple minutes get a second one. And this is what they used to bury teams at times when they were winning those high scoring games. Islanders have taken away the passing lanes. They're plugging up the neutral zone. I really love what the Islanders are doing right now in this series. And this is a great opportunity for them to close out this series right now. We talked about, the fact that a team up 2-0 in a series is 55-1. The only team to have won when down 2 was this actual Islander team back in '85 against Washington. So it's one of those things where, yes, I understand this was a long time ago, 5-game series, but trends exist for a reason. And this is one of them. So they need to put Florida away here, another workmanlike thing, and then you just wait for your next round. It's always good to get 3 under your belt and get a little time off, rest those legs, as funny as that might sound, and wait to see who you're going to be paired up with in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, so Carm and I both like the Islanders. Andrew McGinnis, where are you going in this game?
Well, Prez, you and I were talking yesterday on the phone about, it's the thing that every handicapper deals with, every sports bettor deals with. You're looking at the card every day, and sometimes you leave the picks on the board, and you wish you grabbed them. I'm 8-3 right now in the playoffs, and I'm kind of pissed off that I didn't pull the trigger on the Carolina Hurricanes minus the 1.5 plus 170. I mentioned on the show I wanted to go either over or the minus 1.5. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because we have the same scenario here today, an elimination game. I like to say that if you're like a team in an elimination game, bet the puck line, although it's the New York Islanders, and they can win some one-goal games. Yeah. We saw them win by 2 yesterday. I do expect an empty netter. This Florida Panthers team will not give up, and it's plus 200 on this price. It's just, definition of insanity is the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. These odds makers are setting the same price every single game between these two teams, and nothing different has happened, Prez.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. You like the Islanders as well, I take it.
Yep. Yeah, I had a 5% series bet with the clients on it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I released the Islanders as a series bet as well. Buster Sports, quarantining in St. Catharines, Ontario, sitting on the old Canadian hockey show. It's puck time. How have you been? How are you doing in the NHL playoffs, and what do you like in the Islanders game?
Yeah, I've been doing very well in the NHL playoffs. Actually, I know it's a hockey show, but I had my first 5%er over there at Sports Memo last night, and it was a outright winner on Portland, so that was nice. But yeah, doing very well in hockey. Another went 3-1 again last night, so it's been a very good hockey season. And why for me? Because I'm quarantined and I've watched probably every minute of every game, give or say about 3 or 4 minutes maybe. I actually, for the first time when it was 4-1 in the Wild game last night, I thought, you know what? Got a lot of things to do in the morning, so I actually went to bed at 4-1 of the Wild game, and hey, geez, it looked like they at least had a little bit of fight in them. So in this series, I know all you guys were on the Islanders, and I'll tell you right now, I actually had a small series play on Florida because I really thought Bobrovsky would maybe show up. I thought the talent was there on the offense. I know what they did in how they've handled them, but you know what? Andrew kind of touched on it. It's all been the same. It's all been the same. Like Florida, like they didn't even learn from the regular season losses. They're playing the Islanders game. And yesterday I actually took Florida and I had it over because I really thought Florida was going to open things up, and they really didn't. But they have to today. Like, you might as well, because although that probably plays into the Islanders' hands. There's no doubt that the Islanders are probably the play here. I can't play it because I have Florida in this series. What I will do, though, is bet the over 5, because when you get into 5, and especially a game like this, I figure Florida needs to go all out. They're going to score. And they got guys like Carmen even said, when they score, they usually score in rapid succession. That might not happen today, but you could be sitting on a 3-1, hit you to 5, 3-2. the empty net like Andrew was talking about. So I'm looking for Florida to actually show up. I'll just touch on this quickly. I'm very disappointed in Quenneville. Maybe Chicago knew something of that. Maybe the game's passed them by. I'm not sure. I'm very disappointed. I always loved him as a coach. I know he's no Barry Trotz, but I figured he was right behind his footsteps. And with this layoff, he should have had this team way better prepared, and they weren't. I mean, the defense is just not there. The only way they could even beat the Islanders if it's per chance is to score goals. Problem with that is the Islanders aren't giving up too many power plays. They've only had 3 power plays the whole series. I'm sorry, Florida's only had 3 power plays the whole series. The Islanders have had 10. Islanders scored 3 goals. I mean, if Florida can get the offense going, bring the defense up, and just go for it, they might be able to do something today. But I'm looking just exactly like what happened last night with Carolina against the Rangers. We had Carolina talked about how that was the lowest price. I couldn't believe it. We had it at minus 180 and it was minus 140 for the series. So you might see a similar thing happen today with the Islanders winning. Maybe they win 5-2, 4-2, something like that.
And Buster, on the topic of those 5s that you were talking about, just for a second here, Prez, 4-0 to the over with the total of 5. Ralph Michaels tweeted out earlier, the excellent work from Ralph always. The totals have gone 4-0 to the over when we've seen a 5 in the playoffs, but we have a 5.5. It's been 14-4 to the under. So just that, that half a goal has made a world of a difference.
Guys, some of you have mentioned you're having trouble with the stream in YouTube. Douglas, I'm reading what you're saying. I'm looking at the stream at YouTube, and it's absolutely perfect. I just spoke to our producer in Detroit. He said it's coming through clear and perfect. I don't.
Yeah, it's an audio.
Oh, as I said that, it went away.
Yeah, it does do this where it just started. It looks like it's buffering, and you can still hear the audio, but the video kind of disappears. It's obviously a technical glitch. We're working on this, guys. Trust me. We want to put out a great product, but we want to get these games to you before they actually start. And sometimes you just have to go with what we have. So we apologize, but it will get better. Trust me.
Yeah, I know. I'm so baffled by the whole thing. I mean, it's streaming now. Alex Hart says it's working perfect. A bunch of guys says it's working perfect. We're going to keep moving forward. I want to thank Douglas. Brother, you bought one of my weekly packages yesterday. I'm so greatly appreciated. I really appreciate that stuff. Guys, it means the world to me, to all the guys at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, when you trust us enough to buy our packages and play the plays that we play. It just means so much. Boys, let's get right to the next game. Nashville, Arizona, and Nashville played a perfect game yesterday, minus the last few minutes. Viv was on the over 5 yesterday in that Nashville game. 3-0 with 6 to go. Then the wrong team scores to make it 4-0, and normally when that happens, you know there won't be another shot on goal. And it ended up 4-2. Viv won her play. I released Nashville yesterday. I went 2-1 in hockey yesterday. I'm on a 5-1 hockey run. I'm on a 19-5 all sports run. I have a massive promo for you guys. Stay tuned. I'll get to it in a sec. Bottom line for me, I like Nashville. Carm?
Yeah, before I go into this, a couple quick things, because when we had the audio thing, I didn't even think about mentioning it. The 3-0 day for me in the NHL yesterday, but I do have a 5% play going today, and while it's not in it's not in hockey, it's this afternoon in soccer at 3:00. So you can find that at WagerTalk. And again, because I have essentially about 7 or 8 different plays going today between Europa League soccer and NHL, it's a busy week. That week 69 package where you get 7 days of every single play in every single sport is a good way to go on this one. Now, after I did my little advertising thing there, promo, let's go to this one. Yeah, listen, we talked about it in the last show. Koken and I both thought Nashville played much better in game 1. They were the much better team in game 1 after that first period. But obviously, they dug themselves into a hole with, down 3-0 and just couldn't recover. They were much more disciplined last night. If you think about it, if you look at the penalties, it was really only 2 pure or true power plays for Arizona. A couple of them got canceled out or were offsetting. They played much better yesterday. The final score really isn't an indication of how this game went. Nashville were the much better team. Both those Zona goals came in that last minute of play. And I think, I have to backtrack on one thing. I thought, they were going to go to Pekka Rinne, but they stayed with Saros, and that was actually a better move. Giving a goalie that vote of confidence and telling your team, this is our starter, we're going with them, is actually good for a team's mentality. When you start flipping goalies from one game to another, it's one of the worst things you can actually do. It's kind of like that bullpen in baseball where you change up your closer, and it just gives you that bit of uncertainty. Sticking with Saros was good, and it's probably good for Saros as well. And I think in Nashville is the team you just have to go back to them again, and you're getting a short price at them. It's Nashville for me today.
There you go, boys. We're going to get to Andrew in a second on that same game. I want to say hi to everybody. Team Money, you went 6 for 6 yesterday after watching the show, and I'll tell you guys, I understand that. I mean, we called every single game yesterday, and we did it on Monday as well. We have been absolutely rolling here. I want to welcome so many of you guys: Justin, Matt, Andrew, Chris, Scott, Terrell, Lamaguina. Mentioned Douglas already. Matt, thanks for the coffee mug idea. I don't think we're going to be making coffee mugs for any of the handicappers individually, but they are welcome to make it themselves. Andrew, what do you like in this game?
I feel the same way as Carmine does, and you guys did as well. Yesterday, I wish I doubled down. I mean, this team didn't just play well in the first period; they played well through 3. Like you talked about with Viv, I'm happy she cashed her over, but it was a late over with meaningless goals from the Coyotes, and I think that when you look at it, the guys that needed to stepped up early. Nick Bonino, Ryan Johansson, those are 2 guys that are been in the league for a little while, and you can count on to do some damage. But if we go through all the categories, guys, the Nashville Predators didn't just squeak out a win. I mean, they dominated in block shots, they dominated in hits, they dominated in power play goals. But the face-off percentage is something that we have to, and I have to start mentioning more on this show, because it was 67-33 in favor of the Predators. I mean, if you're not winning face-offs, you're not getting zone time. I mean, you're not able to set up. A lot of teams with smart coaches, they draw up plays. Look at the Maple Leafs; they're one of the best teams in the league for doing that. Draw up plays off the face-off, and the Nashville Predators were able to do that constantly, and it helps them, gather zone time. They don't have the best entry in the league, but if they're in the zone, they're going to stay there. The irony is, though, the shots on goal were around the same, so it seems to me the dangerous shots were more in favor of Nashville. I think that if we're ever to talk about momentum and use that word, I think this might be a time to use it in favor of them. And going back-to-back days here, we're seeing them playing the same time, back-to-back days. Nashville completely comes out and dominates the pace of play. And I always say that it doesn't really matter, if you're peppering a goalie with shots and you're not scoring. And you look at the first result, the first game when Arizona came out on top, but it was the complete opposite, and I don't really expect anything to change. I mentioned yesterday's show that in game 1, we saw Kemper stop 40 of 43 shots. And yesterday it wasn't 43, it was about 28 or 27. But he's still, a lot of dangerous opportunities, and I think a lot of that is resulting with the Arizona Coyotes defensemen jumping into the rush. They feel that their forwards can't do it on their own, and I think the Predators are realizing that and kind of getting behind the D.
Matt DeLeo, thank you so much, brother. And I like that big blue thing in the chat room. Looks really good.
Can I just add to what Andrew said there real quickly?
Yes, and then Buster, we will get to you.
Yeah, sorry, Buster. I'm just going to jump in here one quick sec. But yeah, the thing that Nashville did and did successfully is they kept Arizona to the we see didn't come from the middle of the ice or the slot. and a complete reversal. You look at Toronto, just to talk about Toronto yesterday. What did Toronto do yesterday? They got more shots from the slot. It was talked about in the media afterwards. They had 22 shots from the slot. When a team is trying to suffocate you defensively and keep you to the outside, you got to get to the middle and you got to get shots on goal, especially with those screens in front. It worked pretty good for the Leafs last night, but Arizona couldn't solve it yesterday, although they got a ton of shots.
Douglas, I know you keep saying it's not working on your end. We're having no issues here. I don't know what to say. Buster, it seems like everybody's in line except you, kind of. I mean, you like the Islanders, but not a lot. We all were really on the Islanders. We all like Nashville. Where are you going, quarantine boy?
Well, I actually don't like the Island. Like, I like the. I had Florida in the series. That's why I was saying. I know you guys are all on the Islanders, so I was just giving you guys props, as in, yeah, okay, Florida didn't show up, and I explained why I thought they might, but they didn't, and their defense is terrible, and that's that. Here, I actually have Nashville bet in the series. I actually, after that first game, bet Nashville in the series again, plus 150. I actually have Nashville as a futures from way back when. Nashville and Colorado were my two NHL future bets I made. So I'm all in with this Nashville club. Here's a couple reasons why I have a little worry today, is because what ends up happening is that they allow those 2 goals at the end of that game. And I know that didn't mean much because the game was over, but you know what? That gives Arizona a little something. And I know Arizona's been getting those shots. They haven't been getting maybe the quality shots, and they've been putting them there. But they outplayed them, or maybe outshot them like 14-4 or something in that first period. I know Nashville had a 2-0 lead. The first period of game 1, they kind of outplayed them that period, and they were up 3-1. So my worry is that Nashville needs to make sure that they come out and win that first period, and then they'll be fine, because they've been totally dominant from that point on all the time. So that's all. I'm not gonna be betting this game today, but I am betting it because me and my clients have Nashville for the series and Nashville all over the place. So I will sit and watch. Just wanted to make a little comment. I hear there's a little problem with that Ratna. Like, he left the bench yesterday in the second period. Don't even know if he's going to back up now. So you got Kemper that is going to have to play 3 games in a row. I know Saros probably will as well. But Kemper didn't look a little shaky there yesterday compared to that game 1. So I think you're safe with Nashville today. But I'm just going to watch this one and hope for Nashville to win.
Buster, you haven't been on Puck Time since the playoffs started. We skip the exhibition / round robin / I don't understand why they're playing games.
The placement games.
We will go back to them at the end of the show in case you do have a thought. Matt Carp.
Okay.
What, Carm?
No, I just said they're the placement games.
Yes.
Is what they're called. So, yeah.
Repo Man, I didn't forget you. I was saving you till now. Matt Carpenter, I lean on the under in the Islanders game. We spoke about that in great detail already today. I know you just posted in there. Terry Edelman, sorry about your Minnesota team last night. They showed some life towards the end. Corey, I am getting Prez picks, Koken's picks, and supposed to be getting Buster's picks. Corey, email Missy at WagerTalk.com. She'll take care of you. Jamie Chiefs, thank you for your nice words. Nice to see you, Eric, Andrew G. I love doing this show. Okay, boys, real quick, I just want to make mention, I'm rolling in everything right now. I'm on a 19-5 all sports run. 19 wins, 5 losses. I'm also on a 6-1 all sports run. I'm on a 14-0 baseball run, a 5-1 hockey run. I'm on a 5-0 UFC run. We put up a promo for everybody today that lasts till Saturday. It's the probably the best promotion from me ever, and that is $599 from now until the start of 2021. $599 from now until December 31st, 2020. No coupon code required. Just head over to my my page at WagerTalk.com, and you can find my play $5.99. Matt Carpenter, I'm loving you, baby. Okay. Pittsburgh, Montreal. Before we discuss that game, Andrew, do you have something to say to me?
Yeah, the series is tied 1-1.
So you don't want to talk about my Leafs?
No?
That series is also tied 1-1.
Well, I think just
You
I
said
think
no.
that if the
Mike,
Leafs
drop on the no.
Well,
just Mike, drop on the no.
You can. Somebody in the comment section said I missed Prez and Andrew's banter. I can hear you a lot better, which is nice for this. So I'll say one thing: if the Leafs would have won Game 1, Buster, Carm, the entire chat room, the 2,000 people that are going to watch this video, know that you would have came in here wearing a Leafs jersey,
I was going to wear a Leafs
high-fiving.
jersey today, but the thing is,
and when the Montreal Canadiens won, I came in business as usual. Not going to say anything.
well, I could explain that, Andrew.
Series is tied 1-1.
I could explain that. You have a greater chance of getting Lafreniere than you do the Stanley Cup. The Leafs are actually a contending team. Montreal and Chicago. Montreal, you can laugh.
Yeah,
till
did he
you're
say
blue
that
in
with
the
a straight face?
You can laugh till you're blue in the face, Buster. But they are a contending team. I don't think they're going to win because they're Toronto. But they are a contending team, and Montreal are not only not a contending team, they won't be a contending team for the next freaking decade.
Yeah, but
All
see,
right,
here's the thing.
Prez,
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, is if you get eliminated in the first round or this qualifier round, you have a 12.5% chance of winning that first pick in the draft and getting Lafreniere. The Leafs have less than a 12.5% chance of winning the Stanley Cup. I put it at about 4%. So why not just get eliminated and start your offseason?
So when you say the Leafs, you mean Montreal. I get it, and I totally agree with you, Carm. Slip of the tongue, total respect. Okay, boys. Pittsburgh, Montreal. You can piss on me all you want about the Leafs. Minus 170 for Pittsburgh. I love them tonight. I wanted to release them to my clients, but I just couldn't release such a big piece of juice, frankly. I like them in regulation. I'm making that bet. I'll tell you flat out. I loved 5 plays today. I'll actually go through them at the end of the show, but I only released 1. And David Haddo, no one cares about the Leafs. I care about the Leafs. Everybody in Toronto, except for the traitors like Carmine, care about the Leafs. Everybody in Ontario, except for the traitors like Buster, care about the Leafs. Everybody in Eastern Canada, except for the guys who want to join Quebec and separate from Canada, care about the Leafs. I also do care about the Bruins. I like that team. I know they're our nemesis, but I gotta be honest, I'm a fan. Anyway, Pittsburgh in regulation. Love this play. Carm?
Yeah, we talked about this game, you and I, last night, in sort of how to attack this game. It's really tough to lay this price of minus 170. I feel obviously Pittsburgh is going to win this. I feel much better about taking that series price after Game 1 at a minus 105. It's like a minus 250 right now. I'm actually I'm going here with the under in this game. The under is 5.5 right now. You've got to lay some juice at minus 135, I believe it is. I actually feel like at game time, this will probably be a straight 5 if it hasn't gone to there yet. Montreal is still going to play them tough. Montreal is still going to clog up. They're going to do the same thing that Carolina does, that Columbus does. They're going to try and slow down this Pittsburgh team. They play very well in their own zone. They have through those first 2 games. And if Price continues to do what he's done, he's playing solid goaltending. I don't think they're going to steal. I don't think they're going to steal the game, but I think this game stays under the total. So for me, and even if Pittsburgh gets out there and gets out to a 2-0 lead, this doesn't turn into a blowout game. I just don't see it. I don't think this series is one of those blowout type of series. So I'm gonna take the under here and hope that we get out of this first period with a goal or no goals, and then 5.5 looks great.
Jared Schrader writes, I get the sense Prez doesn't like Montreal because Andrew likes them. No, Jared. I haven't liked Montreal before Andrew was born, and the reason is really simple. Many people in Montreal over the last many decades have tried to secede from Canada. These are Canadians who do not want to be a part of my country. I will not cheer for such people ever. Andrew, what do you like in this game?
And if anybody's wondering why I don't like the Leafs, it's because, unfortunately, money runs the world, and their company and their business cares more about charging hundreds and hundreds of dollars so corporate companies can go to the games and not kids with their parents that can't afford to go to these games with the extraordinary prices they have.
Right.
And if you look at the lower bowl, if you look at the lower bowl of a Leafs game, there are no fans in the seats 5 minutes into the period because every single fan is entertaining their client, entertaining their
I've never heard such
boss,
shit in
their
my entire life.
And that's the deal with these corporate
Andrew,
teams.
you gotta stop. You gotta stop. Okay, like you
I like
Andrew, you don't know what you're talking about.
I think you can't argue with the under. Just
He's
like
got it
Carmine
banged on, in my opinion.
Carmine, you're right. Guys, there are 8 million people in Toronto. 8 million. It is the corporate, financial, advertising, marketing, freaking capital of Canada. The reason Montreal don't have a whole lot of corporations taking their clients to games is because they have no corporations and they have no freaking population. You are a total garbage, Andrew. Total garbage. But anyway, those corporations don't want to leave our country. Can you just stay focused? You like the under in this game?
Yeah, I think that I like the under. You can't argue with the under based off what we've seen. Obviously, Montreal couldn't put the puck in the ocean last game. However, they could still defend a little bit, and Carey Price played out of his mind. I think that same theory I had with the Nashville Predators yesterday. If you like Montreal in any way, shape, or form, which obviously nobody seems to, you have to play them in the first period. So I wouldn't look at anyone playing this team at all, full game, really, just the first period. And I have a funny feeling that this could be a game to bet in-game live under, actually, because this could actually have a quick start to it and then really slow down. So that's kind of what I'd say. And one other mention that I wanted to get across with this game, because I have talked about face-offs a little bit here on the show today. Because there's no home ice advantage technically, and they're not traveling from one city to the next, guys. The rules are still the same. They're still technically saying, this team is home and this team is away, right? So what that means is who gets to decide who does the last line change, right? And who gets to put their stick down last on the face-off draw. And that's actually crucial. Face-offs have been an absolute story of this series, and I have friends that have played high-level hockey, and they say that changes the series, once you get that last change in. Once you get to put your stick down last at the face-off dot, it's crucial, especially when you have two teams that are battling for zone time. And I understand that Montreal has struggled to score last game, obviously getting shut out or getting just one late goal. But I mean, if you look at it, pretty much, if you look at it from a full game series, the 1-1 so far, it's been about 50-50 from the face-off dot. So I'm happy to see Montreal doing that when they had the disadvantage. And now they're going to get to change their line last. So we'll see how they can control that. Too many times we had, a fourth line stuck out there against Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. And yeah, Prez, remember I mentioned on the show 2 days ago that Malkin, couldn't hit the barn door. He's still not doing very well. And I think that the sad part is, as a Montreal fan, in full honesty, is that he's going to heat up at some point. He's going to get it together. However, I will say that, Pittsburgh 0 for 5 on the power play, Canadiens 0 for 3. So on the total perspective, if these teams start even getting 1 or 2 power play goals, there's going to be a difference. And, we saw Armia pretty much give up that play with Crosby. He wasn't skating back. He pretty much gave up. The replay was just embarrassing on that. And then he took 3 power plays. So I'm going to sit here and this, I can look biased to people, but I'm just watching from what I'm saying, what I saw. I think Montreal kind of gave that game away and shot themselves in the foot more than they had to.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you, Andrew. But let's get back to talking about Toronto. That's what I say. Buster, let me bring you into this conversation.
I thought you said we were done with that topic, and now you're bringing it back.
You're done.
I don't want to.
You're done with that topic.
No. Let's all make this very, very, very clear right now. I was cut off, but Prez is taking the floor.
I'm gonna mute you. I control the board.
You can't mute him. You can't mute him. I have to say one thing. I'm going to defend Andrew here just for a second. I think what you should do is, if this point is garbage, you can say your point is garbage. You can't say Andrew is garbage. I think you misspoke there.
Andrew is not
or
garbage.
Maybe we misheard you, but you cannot do that.
You're right. I don't remember doing that, but I love Andrew. For the record, I love Andrew. He is misguided. He is young. He is incorrect in a lot of the things he says. But he's 6'6", handsome as shit. And plays with a woman in her early 20s. So Andrew wins. Congratulations.
Well, that's because he's in his early 20s. Like, he should have somebody in his early 20s, should he not?
You would think, yes. He is in his early 20s. Buster, they want me to move on, so I'm just going to say this.
Well,
I'm just going to say this.
Go ahead.
I respect that Andrew likes the Habs. He's from Nova Scotia. They have a bad educational system out there. I understand. Nothing riles me up more than a person from Greater Toronto being a Habs fan, and that's you. I think I'm going to mute you just for that reason.
You've muted me the whole show. Why not? Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just kidding, dude. What do you like in this game?
I'm just going to mention one little thing. It's funny how you were always teasing me last year how I'd go on and on and on and on. And now I've sat back and I've noticed how Andrew is picking up right for me. Like, that's pretty good, Andrew. I like it a lot. So keep doing that.
So your reason for not liking the Leafs is they have a ton of people living in Toronto, so the prices go up because it's a market economy. That's your reason. Okay, good reason. Please tell us about this game. That's not my reason.
That's not my reason at all.
Well, that's what Andrew's reason was.
I'm just saying I like how he's going on and on and on, and we're waiting to hear what he has to say about that.
What do you like?
I know we have to move on. Of course, when it comes to playoffs, Montreal, anytime Montreal plays, I will not bet the game at all, because that's just the way. All during the year, I find all the spots, bet against Montreal, bet with Montreal. Once it comes to the playoffs, not happening. But what I will say is that no one should be laying 170, 180 with Pittsburgh tonight, even though they probably will win the game. There's 92% right now of the people have bet Pittsburgh. Now, will they win? Probably. But in saying that, we all saw what the Korpisalo was doing against Toronto yesterday, and they couldn't score, and they finally did. But Price has been doing the same thing the last 2 games. So I really expect, like, Montreal just didn't show up in game 2. But they played pretty good in game 1. The first period was bad, but they end up playing pretty good in game 1. Got the win in overtime. You can call it lucky or whatever you want to call it. They got the win. Price needs to do what Price needs to do. Montreal needs to play the same way they played in game 1. Game 2, they didn't come out with that same intensity at all, not even close. They hit, like, they need to hit Pittsburgh. They hit them 23 times more than Pittsburgh in the first game. They only hit them 11 times more in the second game. They need to. I know they're not a physical club, but they have to play that way. They have to get in their face to have any chance of winning. The other thing is, they got to stay out of the penalty box. Andrew touched on it a bit, but Pittsburgh's had 12 power plays in this series. They've only scored once, and that's probably lucky for Montreal that they've only scored once, but you can't keep playing with that fire. You keep playing with that fire, and as they say, you'll get burned. So Montreal, if they have any chance tonight, Price has to be Price. They have to hit, and they have to stay out of that penalty box. And like I always say, it's NHL hockey, and who knows, because it can happen.
He's Buster Sports. You can find him at sportsmemo.com. He is an awesome dude back at home from a long winter in Mexico. Cheryl Caldwell wrote, Perez need to learn some respect for co-cappers. We can't even hear they opinion. I will let Perez know when I see him. I will give him the information. Okay, boys.
No.
Oh, yeah, Carm, you want to start with me? Go, baby.
Let's go, man. Let's go. I love
Chicago.
I love listening. Listen, I love listening to Buster, and I'm glad he's on the show. I'm glad he's back in the Great White North. Once his quarantine is over, I'm taking him and one of our WagerTalk clients, great guy, Rob Braley. I'm taking them both out to Beer Town in Oakville and getting them absolutely happy.
Carm, show your shirt. You gotta like stand up or something. There you go. Look at that. That is the best hockey team ever assembled.
Yeah, I just want to say for everybody out there, I know that it's more fun when we chirp each other and joke around. But I've known Prez and everybody on the panel for years now, so like it's no harm, like after this show, like I talk to Prez all the time, like it's not just like we're going at it and we're actually angry, it's all love, it's all good.
Yeah, but I'll tell you.
Yeah, just one thing, saying like this is what guys did all the time, ball busting. That's what you do.
Man,
that's just what you do all the time.
Guys, we don't need.
There's too many feelings going on.
Guys, we don't need to justify this. Only this rude Perez guy. I don't know where he is. He's not on the show. I will get a hold of Perez, Davey4662. I will speak to Perez. I will let him know. So, minus Perez, we're good to go, boys. Okay. Chicago, plus 115. Edmonton, minus 135. The over and under is 6.5. Look, it looks like this game is just going to keep going. This series, every game is going to go to the over. We had somebody mention that at the beginning of this show. I'm nervous about the over here, Carm. It makes sense, but we're gonna see a low-scoring Edmonton game at some point. I like Edmonton. I lean on the over, but I am getting a little bit concerned. Where are you going?
Yeah, it just seems, it's that old adage or whatever. It just seems too easy.
I know,
These teams are scoring. They're scoring at will. I'm just going to go with the Edmonton team because I like them to win the series to start with. I took them again after they lost game one at plus 140. And, this is game three. It's the big one, right? Obviously, you win this, you're in control of the series. We could very easily, I know it's hard to believe, we could very easily see a 3-2 game as we can see a 6-5 game here. At some point, those games that just seem obvious, they throw in one of those those stellar defensive games where the goals just don't go in and there's not a lot of scoring and you're worried about where this total is going. I never say never. And just to go back one time where I bet a Leafs over 6.5 against Philadelphia, and after the first period it was 6-0 Leafs, and the final score was 6-0 Leafs. So it's one of those things where just never say never. But I think this Edmonton team has a lot more talent. The one thing that scares me about this series is Chicago are getting the chances. Even in game two, there was a lot of Chicago 2-on-1s where they didn't click and score. That they could have, if they had clicked on any of those opportunities, they could have turned this series on their ear and taken a 2-0 lead in this one. So don't discount this Chicago team, but I'm still going with Edmonton here. I just think their talent is at a much different level than that of the. So it's mine is a quick analysis. I'm taking Edmonton, and that's it. I'm not touching the total.
Davey, we did not break down the Bruins game. Perez might have on another channel, but we haven't done that yet. We're going to get to that game quick in a bit. Andrew, Chicago and Edmonton. What do you like?
I'll be short with it. I look at this Edmonton team and I still think they're underachieving. I had them as my 5% pick, and I was happy enough to see Connor McDavid get a hat trick. But I'm still waiting for a few more names to pop up on that stat sheet that I haven't seen yet. We saw Tyler Ennis get a goal, which is a start. Nugent Hopkins got on the board, but I want to see a few other guys. James Neal scored, but early in the game, get involved for this Edmonton team. And as far as the total goes, just like Carm said, I'm not going to really touch it. And the reason being is that sometimes in order to cash a total, you need to get some fluky goals. We're not seeing any fluky goals in this series. It's pure skill. So Koskinen play well. I think Crawford's playing well, but it's just pure skill, like top shelf goals, a very, very small area of the net to get to, and they're doing that. So I would probably look there. And also, if we look at this series so far, each game has been settled in margin of victory. So if you're feeling a little bit dangerous today, grab the puck line and increase your odds.
I love it. Okay, Buster, what's up with you in this game?
Well, I'm going to be devil's advocate like usual, and I've already made a bet on Chicago in this game today, and I'll give you a few reasons why. Andrew actually mentioned one, which I hadn't heard much talk about it. Is that the home team gets that last change, and this might help Chicago a little bit when it comes to the faceoffs and when it comes up to who's going to match up. And although McDavid is almost impossible to stop, but they might with Taves, if he's on him all the time instead of off and on, maybe they have a chance. But the big thing Carmine touched on, Chicago's still getting a ton of chances. I'm not too pleased with the way Crawford played in net the last game. The first game, Chicago just dominated the whole game. I know it was 6-4 final, but I mean, they look great. Big difference there. Chicago, and I know Chicago's like Montreal don't hit a lot, but you need to play that aggressive type style of a game in the playoffs. You have to work hard. You have to hit. Chicago had 10 hits. 10 in the whole game last game. They had 33 the game before. Does Edmonton now hit them every game? Yeah, probably. But you have to make that effort. If you don't make that effort, you end up what happened the other day. But if you think about it, Chicago ties up that game 3-3, and I know Andrew was saying there's been no real lucky goals, but that one McDavid shot off about 3 people, went in the net, made it 4-3. Then Crawford gives away a goal, 5-3. Then they score. I mean, like the game's over right after Crawford giveaway. So Chicago's in that game.
What is that? What is that thing called? It's a name of a person where you build like the domino hits the ball rolls down and hits a plate. The plate pulls a cord. You know what I'm talking about?
The video game?
No, you set it up, and then it's like dominoes fall one after another.
The domino effect.
No, there's a name for the actual setup of it. It's a name of a person. Anyway, that's what Connor.
Anyways, let me continue a little bit more, and then you can talk about your domino effect or whatever. Okay. One thing that has to happen. Chicago had struggled all year with the power play. First game they go 3-6. Last game they go 0-4. So if they struggle with the power play, they're probably not going to have much success. Edmonton's done well with the power play, 4 goals out of 9 chances. One other thing that has to happen, Chicago's players, they've got to play better. Duncan Keith, +3 in game 1, -3 in game 2, +1 in game 1. Those guys got to play. There's a veteran club over there. Does Edmonton have more talent? Of course they do. Chicago looks like they can win this series. I'm taking Chicago tonight.
There you go. And you sounded pretty definitive, Andrew?
Oh, yeah, it sounds good to me. Prez, Buster, there's nothing wrong with being a contrarian. I love it. So, like Carmine always says, if you're going to do that on this show, it's kind of boring if we're all on the same page. So I love it. I embrace it.
Absolutely. Listen, nobody wants to, I know the guys are like, take it easy, guys, or calm down. Nobody wants a show where 4 of us agree on the same thing in every single game. It's the most boring show ever. We're not disagreeing just to make the show better. We actually we disagree with things. So that's the great thing of this show. It's up to you in the chat to disseminate what we're talking about and figure out which one you agree with more. That's just it.
Buster.
However, I do have one thing to say real quick. If the Leafs win their, not just this series, but next series, I'll send Prez a brand new Leafs jersey. But if the Habs win the Penguins series, he has to send me a Habs jersey.
I told the Prez
Fine.
before or last night, the way the seedings are right now, unless Montreal upsets Pittsburgh, if Toronto ends up with if no one below Toronto upsets in their series, Toronto has the number 8 seed and will play the team that finishes first in the placement series, which right now is looking like it'll be either Tampa Bay or Philadelphia. They're tied for first.
Please
so
be Philadelphia.
that's a good lead into the placement games. Prez, go ahead.
Please be Philadelphia. Yeah, replacement games. Just want to quickly make mention, Buster, it's called a Rube Goldberg machine. And that's what Connor's... You don't know what I'm talking about? The Rube Goldberg?
Rube Goldberg? No, I'm sorry. I don't.
Just Google it later. But that... Some would say Connor's deflection off of a stick, off of a knee, in through the middle was a fluke. I say he set up a Rube Goldberg machine. That's how good Connor McDavid is.
Oh, I agree. He is that good, but...
Replacement games, boys. Tampa Bay, Boston, Colorado, Dallas. We'll do them both at the same time. I'm passing. Carm?
I looked at this Tampa one. Stamkos is still out today. He's not playing. That's 67 points out of that lineup. It's next man up kind of thing. But Tampa has a ton of talent. I can't really bet it. But if I was, I would still take this Tampa team. It's like Koken said, they have something to prove after last season's playoffs. So I think they want that number 1 seed, and maybe the easier path to the finals.
Andrew?
Yeah, that Tampa Bay versus Washington game was the only play my clients have had that's part of the actual seeding games, and Tampa Bay came out on top. It took a shootout to get there. In this game, it's very interesting because although it's a seeding game, and some might say it doesn't matter too much, we got a Tampa team like Carmine and Dave have been saying. They're on a mission, and it seems like without Stammer, they're still doing really, really well, both offensively and defensively. But a Bruins team that been making headlines over the past couple of weeks. We had David Pastrnak getting caught outside the ring without a mask on and walking around with the public, breaking some rules. A couple of guys were unfit to play, like Tuukka Rask. They haven't been able to score goals recently. With Coach Cassidy for the Bruins, I know a lot of handicappers here at WagerTalk, Tony Finn, Teddy Covers, always reading into what these coaches are saying. I'm like that as well. And he said it's going to be a physical game, just like Tampa was against Washington. And he predicts that Boston, Tampa will be the exact same. And, physicality leads to penalties, and penalties lead to power plays, and power plays with these two teams lead to goals. So, I'd say we could probably see some goals here in this one. And as far as the other one goes, quite the opposite. Like, I'd say you have to look at the under when you see these two teams playing. And I'm talking about the Colorado game, Colorado-Dallas. And that first period under trend should continue here when these two teams go at it. So, you just can't argue with it. I drafted Ben Bishop in my fantasy playoff hockey pool as my goalie for quite obvious reasons. I think they're going to go relatively deep. And when they do, it's going to be because he's standing on his head. So that's my thoughts there.
Buster, finish it up.
For me, in the Tampa game, I'm on Tampa. I'm on the over like Andrew. I think Boston has looked terrible. I know Rask is going to play, but they just seem a little out of sorts. And as Carmine pointed out, Tampa wants that number 1 seed. I know a lot of people don't believe that these seeds mean much, but for Tampa, they want the seed. And just like the other game, Colorado, they're really wanting the number 1 seed. Actually, Joe Sakic came out and said, we're going. And all the talk, all the players for Colorado. So I've already made a bet on Colorado at minus 134 today, too, because they have something to prove against Dallas, because Dallas has beat them all the time, right? 4 games, I believe it was this year. So, and like I say, Colorado, for whatever reasons these guys have, whatever goals they have, these guys are in a bubble. right? So you probably have to come up with all kinds of ways to keep yourself interested. Like I say, I'm betting Colorado, I'm betting Tampa Bay and over in those placement games.
Awesome stuff, guys. So everybody knows I'm on a 19-5 all sports run and a 6-1 NHL run, and as a result, I'm slowing down my releases. I really liked a whole bunch of games today. I picked my favorite game, which I am releasing to the clients. Just so everybody knows, I told you all, I'll tell you what I like. And this includes one of the play I'm releasing as well. I personally bet today. I personally bet Nashville. I personally bet the over in the Edmonton game. Edmonton, the under in the Montreal Pittsburgh game. And I personally bet Pittsburgh. $40 for Andrew McGinnis's 5% play, or better than that, $69 for a week of anybody's plays. Great show, boys. Tomorrow, Carmine Bianco is hosting with Buster, Andrew, and Dave Koch, I'll be back on Friday. Make sure to check out the 2 o'clock first pitch show with Andrew, Dave Koch, and whoever their guest is today, and the 3 o'clock NBA show. We love all of you guys. Thank you so much for logging in and watching. I cannot tell you how greatly appreciated it is. Let the puck bounce in the direction you need today, as Vince Van Patten, or whatever his name, Mike Berman, whatever, Sexton. It's been so long since I've played.
It's one of those guys, Prez.
What?
It's
one of those guys. Later, everyone. Mwah. Bye. Ciao.